Am I the a-hole for not selling a property that my parents promised someone? About 10 years ago, a family friend owned 2 commercial units but couldn't keep up with the associated costs. Repairs, maintenance, taxes, etc. It also needed a lump sum of cash to keep their business afloat. So he asked my parents to buy the property from him, with the condition that he could buy it back for free after a few years once his business recovered. My parents could rent it out in the meantime and recoup what they paid. My dad passed away 4 years ago and left me with the property. I renovated it and have been renting both units out since then. This past summer, the family friend and his kids sent me a pretty aggressive letter saying they want the property back for free under the original agreements between them and my parents. There was no contract or anything, it was just a verbal agreement. They eventually said that they'll buy it back for the original purchase price of $80,000, but the property has increased in value by 12 times since then. Plus, I've put a decent amount of money in it for renovations. I've never met these people, and I have no intention of upholding a verbal agreement that I was not a part of. So I told them no, and not to contact me again. They've been sending me threatening letters with semi-legal threats. I talked to a lawyer and he said they have zero claim and that I'm in the clear. Am I the a-hole for ignoring them and keeping the property? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Honestly, the original agreement sounds like he was taking advantage of your parents. Screw this guy. They were. My parents were extremely kind, but many people took advantage of them throughout their lives, unfortunately. Make sure you have some type of security/cams in the property. Obviously nothing that would make your tenants uncomfortable, but maybe sharing that you are being harassed and want to be sure they don't get harassed. Not the a-hole. They don't get to sit back and reap the benefits of 10 years worth of work and maintenance. A few years for the original buyback agreement with your father and not you is not 10 years. That opportunity between the 2 original parties came and went. Especially after they were not only maintained, but renovated. Realistically, these are no longer the same units that were part of the original agreement. For free? Not the a-hole. For free or for the price your parents originally paid, $80,000, the offer is ridiculous. Get a restraining/harassment order against them. Stop saying you knew about the buy-it-back deal. They might be able to use it against you. I understand nothing of law in the US, but what if they have a recording of you talking about this lunatic deal? Make sure to schedule an appointment with an attorney. Find out what really could be done. Honestly, I don't think the previous owners have a case against you. However, make sure you know everything about the legal repercussions of the buying back for free thing. First they wanted it for free, then they said they'll buy it back at the original price of $80,000. The property is worth well over $1 million at this point. My mother, for years after my stepfather died, sent money to a poorer country to help her in-laws. When she told them she had cancer, they still asked for money. When she let them know that she had to go into hospice as cancer was terminal, they still begged for money. When she passed away after half a year in hospice, I went through her phone correspondence and let them know she has passed. I kid you not. 2 weeks later, they are asking me for money. I don't know these people, never met these people, never went to their country, and I am not in any way related to them. They keep begging. I sent a scathing response back with a listing of telephone numbers of people who were actually blood related to them. You're in the same boat. These people have no ties to you, and you owe them nothing. They have no contract. Let them chin-wag all they want and sleep soundly at night. Some people are straight-up vultures zooming in on a dead carcass. Yep, this wasn't the only vulture that came out of the woodworks when my parents died. Sorry about your mom, and sorry you had to deal with that awfulness instead of being able to grieve. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not giving my fiancé any of the winnings to pay off her debt? I, 31 male, have been engaged to my current fiancé, 34 female, for 2 years. We are not rushing into getting married. My fiancé has been struggling with debt since she graduated college. Her parents gave her a loan to help with paying some of the debt. Her biggest issue is that she loves to buy things that aren't necessary. What I didn't know was that she had 3 credit cards that she would use and they were already maxed out. She works as a registered nurse and used most of her paycheck to pay off the debt. We decided to go on a vacation and decided to have fun at a casino. I put in a reasonable amount and ended up winning a large jackpot. The money was enough to put towards some of the bills and mortgage. But my fiancé kept begging me to use all the money on her debt, and I told her that I had concerns about her going back into debt. She has been staying quiet and won't talk to me unless it's in regards to the money. When we got back home, we invited her parents over for dinner and she told them how much I won. Her parents were so happy and relieved, and her mother asked if I was going to use the money on her debt. I explained to them that I was going to use the money towards the bills, mortgage, and paying off some of my car loan. I do love my fiancé, but I don't trust her with the money. I did deposit the money into my bank account, but she did trash our entire room trying to find the money. Her family thinks that since I am going to be her husband, that all my money should be hers. I feel that because I have my concerns about her going right back into debt, that I do not trust her with this large amount of money. Am I the a-hole for not giving my fiancé any of the winnings to pay off her debt? Not the a-hole. You really need to rethink marrying someone that would trash your room looking for money that doesn't belong to her. Lots of red flags here. Not the a-hole, and I agree. If she is this bad now, it will get worse when you are married. She will be constantly putting you and your credit score in trouble, OP. One of the most common reasons people fight or divorce is due to money, and divorce is causing a lot of financial damages on its own. Seriously think about the marriage. Ask her if she's willing to go to a money management and budgeting course to get a handle on her debt, and possibly pay off and cancel a card or two. If she won't do any of those things, she's just using you to pay off her debt and then charge things back up. Not the whole. I have to agree. I hate to say it because I don't like judging people who get into financial troubles. But Opie's fiancé sounds like one of those people who can't stay out of debt. I know people like this. I have a friend who had credit cards she kept secret from her husband so she could spend money on salon visits, clothes, and toys for their kids. After he died in a bike accident, between the insurance and the money people gave her as a young widow, she got all her debts paid off. Guess what? In 5 years, she was deeply in debt again. I'm all for married couples sharing their resources, but this sounds worrisome to me. Opie and his fiancé may not be financially compatible. Listen to this, Opie. This was my brother's first wife. She expected him to pay for everything even before they married. While she regularly got fired from jobs at the 4-month mark, it ran up to huge credit card debts the whole time. Guess who ended up divorced and filed for bankruptcy afterwards? Dude, I would seriously consider canceling the engagement. Not only does she have bad money habits, she trashed your room looking for the money? You know what that sounds like? An addict. Has she been evaluated for a shopping addiction? You're right to not want to pay off the debt for her. It sounds like she would just get right back into it. Not the whole. Agree. And why is no one bringing up her trashing their place to look for the money he'd already deposited? Holy smokes, is that some unhinged crap? Not the whole and break up with this lunatic, please. And yes, she'd definitely have just blown through more money. Next story. Am I the a-hole for leaving my daughter in economy class and refusing to change her seat? My daughter Meg, female 18, is a very active person in social causes. Go to marches, help with NGOs and homeless people. The recent cause she embraced was the criticism of capital accumulation. My husband and I come from a wealthy background. Although our parents don't fully help, we know our privileges and the ease with which we can achieve our career and financial success. But Meg doesn't seem to understand. She often criticizes each more expensive purchase, saying that we could donate this money to people in need. I really understand her ideal, but it gets annoying all the time at any purchase she's criticizing. What she also doesn't understand is, the little of this excess capital of ours, she has the freedom to do all this in time without money stopping her. All the luxuries like iPhone, car, and money are given to her so she can walk as she wants. And we agreed to help when she said she would like to take a gap year to delve into the causes. After 3 years without traveling because of the pandemic, we decided to take an international trip. Again, Meg talking about it being an unnecessary expense to go to business class and that money could go to other things. She proved her point, and we decided to go class save on a 10-hour trip. On the way to the airport, I talked to my husband that he could go to the gate and I would go to the duty-free to see some stuff. Meg butted in and started the same rant again. I was already pretty annoyed about it despite giving her a warning to stop, but I saw that she was going to be on this the whole trip. At check-in, the attendant asked if we'd like an upgrade to executive, and when Meg threatened to start over, I accepted and asked for 2 seats. She was quiet, asking if we weren't going to do it for her, and I was very honest, saying that I wasn't willing to spend 10 hours listening to it. I don't want to enjoy too. She started to say we should all stay in economy, and I said no. She got annoyed about it. On the trip, she didn't enjoy anything and stayed on her cell phone. On the way back, I offered to pay hers and she refused. When we got home, she said that we knew that she's financially dependent on us, and that we accepted to support her financially, and that we refused to upgrade even though she couldn't do it to prove our point, and that we were vindictive for being fed up with her pointing out only the truths, and if we don't like her way, let her know and don't punish her. She is given cold shoulder so far 5 days later. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Meg is though, if I was you, I'd just do malice compliance. Let her know that you support her in her causes. She doesn't want you to spend money that you could donate? No problem. She wants a new phone? Perfect. She can get the lowest cost flip phone, and the rest that you would have spent on a new iPhone will be donated, as will her old phone. Having a car is a luxury. Time to sell it. She can get a transit pass. And just think of how many people you could buy a transit pass for with all the money you save on not paying gas and insurance and from the sale of the car. Birthday and Christmas presents are a luxury. Get her a cake to celebrate her birthday and a card with a donation made in her name to a cause she cares about as her gift. No more vacations. Those are a luxury, so she can't come on those anymore. The portion you would spend on her will be donated. Meg needs to get a job so she can get some perspective. She's acting spoiled, entitled, and not understanding her privilege. And quite honestly, being a hypocrite. She's mad that you upgraded, but then mad that she didn't get an upgrade. Not the a-hole. Go further. Let her practice what she preaches. She's fine imposing her values on others. Let her live them herself. Also, ask her what charities you want your estate to be donated to, as she gets no inheritance. It's easy for Meg to be hypocritical brat when there's no penalty for her. Let her live how she lectures, and don't let her back into your good graces until she apologizes for her behavior. Not the a-hole. Your daughter is a major hypocrite. She doesn't want you flying first class, but is upset that you didn't upgrade her to first class. It's honestly time for you to set the record straight with her. She is well aware that she is financially dependent on you, and yet she criticizes your every financial move. Tell her that the money you're spending on her would be better off being donated, so she should stop with the hypocritical rants unless she can actually survive financially being on her own. She thinks that she's so righteous and woke, but any poor person would get annoyed with the BS she's pulling. She's all talk and no act. Sure, she goes to rallies and stuff, but her lifestyle does not reflect it considering she actually likes the luxuries of having rich parents, like going on unnecessary trips and getting everything paid for her. Not to mention, no matter how wealthy her parents are, them spending that money is beneficial to the economy. Cycling their wealth back into the economy is exactly what they should be doing to help. The problem is the rich that hoard their wealth and refuse to let it see the light of day again. Honestly, grew up in a single-parent home, and your comment about how poor people would get annoyed about her BS is so spot on. Growing up in low income, you know damn well you were low income. Sure, mom needed help here and there, but we managed. I would have been so angry if one of my friends was running around with a new iPhone, could take a year off while mom and dad paid and all that, had the nerve to rant near me how her parents were wasting money. I'd feel like she was taking the piss on me. I was happy at home, a privileged girl just reminding me I was low income while whining how people should donate while sucking on mom's and dad's wallet. Yeah, we wouldn't be friends for long. Last story. Am I the a-hole for selling my wife's LuLaRoe? My wife has recently started a side business or hustle. I don't know the exact word she uses. Recently with this LuLaRoe company, which it says is a great opportunity to get more money, to which I thought it was okay and just left her alone, maybe occasionally asking her how it was going. We have a shared account, but my wife likes managing it because she's a perfectionist and admittedly usually better at handling finances than me, so we agreed to leave most of it to her. I thought it was a mostly innocent side job, but I did ask her to tone it down when some friends complained about her messaging them privately about her whole thing. She seemingly took it well at first, but she went silent with me for a day or two because I apparently wasn't supporting her. She has a lot of merchandise in the house, some of which she puts in a spare room in which it's literally almost filled, but she keeps telling me that people are buying, etc., etc., and how I'm not trusting her whenever I brought it up, tears in the eyes and such. I finally decided to check our account and turns out she spent a decent amount of money on this stuff, as well as taking a dip in some of our emergency fund, which admittedly made me angry and kinda not in a clear mood. I decided to sell most of her merchandise when she went over to her parents' house for relatively cheap, as it wouldn't really sell for much higher. And while it was a good decision at a time, with the way my wife and some family/mutual friends reacted, started to feel like the a-hole. When she came back, I told her and she freaked out at me, saying I was abusive, horrible, and other insults, before leaving to stay at a friend's house. And some family who heard about the whole thing are saying I'm in the wrong because I'm being an unsupportive husband. Starting to feel guilty but wanted some outside opinion. Am I the a-hole? LuLaRoe is a very dangerous pyramid scheme. Have you watched the documentary LuLaRich? It's very informative and shows all of the lives this MLM has ruined. Yes, your wife needs to watch this documentary, and so do any family members who are confused about the business opportunity. LuLaRoe is a predatory MLM which encourages people to continually buy more and more stock. Not the a-hole. Your wife is in the grip of a failing MLM. She's not thinking rationally, and you should not let her manage your finances. This MLM has destroyed lives and left people bankrupt. That your wife is doing this after it's well known they're failing is even more reason for you to protect yourself immediately. Yes, I was surprised to read anyone was still selling this product. Not the a-hole and separate your finances until your wife comes to her senses. Everyone sucks here. Go talk to the folks at r/anti-MLM for suggestions on how to effectively deprogram your wife. But however misguided this venture might be, I don't know how you expected stepping in and taking over without so much as discussing the situation with her first was going to end well for you. Like she discussed spending their joint money in emergency fund,